you so fucking angry?
Well, everybody, welcome to Midnight at the Crossroads radio show. Wow.
Hey, thank you for joining the show. That's David Humphrey. I'm Sean Sellers, and that's old Jake Bell sitting over there.
Bell.
How you tonight, Jake Bell?
I'm delicious, apparently.
Delicious.
Oh man, Jake Bell, he is in the house.
I had a hamburger steak again.
And I had a steak tonight, and it was delicious. Mr. Humphrey, thank you for the steak.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think the radio show is going to be sponsored by the front porch of Millbrook, Alabama.
It really should be.
It should be. As much
That
time
It's a
as we
delicious
spend there.
place.
Front porch grill. Just get your beef on.
Let's get your beef on.
That is an excellent tagline for that restaurant.
That's right. Come over to the front porch grill where you can get your beef on.
But they never have 16-ounce steaks for David.
I don't know why you keep asking for 16 ounces.
I'm just a glutton for punishment.
Because you know that dude buys one primal cut of ribeye, right? And then he cuts it all into 13 ounce. You know he's not going to have no 16. You're going to have to call him the day before.
Well, here's the thing.
I won't listen. Oh, crap.
What happened?
My phone fell. It's going to sound funky.
Should we start it all over?
No, we're good. Go.
All right. Where are we at? I don't lost train of thought. Where should we start the show tonight? Should we start it with our holiday weekend, last week's show, or should we just jump right into it tonight?
Please don't go into last week's show.
Speaking of last week's show, I see that you loaded something an hour ago. I'm a werewolf.
That was
Is that
last week's show. That's all I could think to call it.
I call it a train wreck.
Is that
But
what it should
for all our
change the name
listeners
of
out
it?
there that's going to listen to last week's show, I mean, it was just raw us. I mean, that's all you can say about it. It was raw.
I think every single one of them has been just raw.
Speaking of raw, I want to give let's give Jake Bell an applause because he is making an assertive effort for fitness now, and he's starting to come do cardio.
Yeah.
As David starts the video.
He's Snapchatting.
Mute your phone.
Congratulations to
Very
Jake
proud
Bell.
of Jake
I am
Bell
too,
for
man.
that.
We can kind of keep track, as we've been keeping track of my love life, we can keep track of Jake Bell progression of getting back into shape of things. And here's
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting. And, Jake learned this weekend that he still got the flair to pull women. And he don't even try to do it.
My little tight shirts.
I mean, I don't know how he did it this weekend. But
Showing
he did
off
it.
my muscles.
I think that's
I told you my theory, and I think it is an absolute correct theory.
What's that?
Is that at that point, I did not care. And for some reason, not caring is extremely attractive to women.
Yeah, it is. It is. That's a good thing to kind of go into segue into before we get started. Is pretty much. I'll reshare the whole story with you. You tell me what you think.
Right.
We're at Floribama and we're inside the area and we're sitting there, and there was a younger lady came in and she had a husband or a boyfriend that looked almost 40 years older than
I
her.
thought it was her dad.
Yeah, but they wasn't. You thought it was till we saw them dance.
No, that's a good point.
But so they sat there, and then the lady's there, and it's packed out, and we're all sitting there. And that lady kept looking toward us on that side. She kept looking and checking everything out. Mm-hmm. And then before I know it, she started trying to talk to Jake. She kept talking to Jake. Jake kept looking at her like, I can't hear you. I don't know what you're saying. She kept talking, and Jake kept looking at her like, I can't hear you. And before you know it, Jake almost looked like he got flustered with her and it embarrassed her, and she ended up just turning around.
Wow. As she should have.
And there was so many angles you could have took. You could invite her to sit right there above where we was at. You could have
introduced her to Mr. Sean Sellers.
You could have introduced her to the truth. You could have done it. You could have done numerous things.
I didn't know. I just sat there and drank my Red Bull.
He did. That's the only woman that hit on anybody there. Then before you know it, we're at Applebee's.
We are.
And you
Foley, which is depressing enough.
Yes, it is. And then a waitress, wasn't even our waitress, makes a beeline to us.
Yeah.
And starts talking to Jake that she had him mistaken for an old customer. He just basically looked at her and said, "It's not me. I'm from Montgomery. How about that mango tea?" And she was completely embarrassed, flustered.
She turned around and she goes, "I thought that was my customer." She immediately had to tell somebody else.
She didn't know what
to try and relieve that embarrassment.
And you never stopped staring at her.
I didn't. I was going to see how that played out.
So Jake's the only one that had 2 instances coming back in while Hump's taking his pictures and everything. And let me tell you.
Ow.
What?
David, Wayne.
Somebody just smacked the crap out of a mic.
I am proud.
It does not matter.
I'm proud to see you back.
It does not matter.
Hump, he's back. With the pictures, promoting. He is doing what he does. Hump, what do you think you need to attract women nowadays?
I like how you just segue into that.
I do like that. I love the way we segue our show.
He's
with
trying to
every
deflect
topic
so
ever.
hard.
No, you know what's funny? It's
What?
very hard, and we talk about this every day at the shop.
It is really hard right now.
It's very hard to be single. It's very hard to meet people. It's very hard to be in a dating scene. You can do the online stuff, which I think is a little bit for professional based people, and the way things are so busy right now. That's a good tool to date people. But it goes back to what we were talking about at dinner tonight. If you're out there and you're trying to date people, one, the bars are not going to do it. You're going to have to network yourself through friends to meet different people and start small with small dates. It's not like it was 15 years ago. I tell you what, Sean, I applaud you for doing it. Because it is hard work.
Well, I'm not really doing too well at it right now. So I don't know. And all my friends nobody's really making that asserted effort to hook me up.
But
Well, look, I've got a really good defense because Sean saw how I meet women.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's not like I would have any.
Now, I hadn't had a hard time meeting one, but I hadn't met one that actually grabbed me yet.
okay.
I mean, well, no.
I was like, well,
How about
that
this?
is kind of good.
Can you meet women by yourself, or does it have to be in a group setting? What do you feel? And every one of us has a different answer because I like to tend to meet people on my own.
As we know.
Watch your mouth, Jake.
Yeah.
So, are you better in a group setting? Because
No.
I'm not.
Is it easier for you to chloroform them when you're by yourself instead of having an accomplice?
Well, I do buy a lot of
Is that why the truck is jacked up so no one can peer into the
Wow.
back?
Honestly, here's my thing, and when I'm alone, I don't realize that I'm natural, so I'm not realizing if they hitting on me, if they like me, and I'm talking to them. So even if I do have a chance, I would never know. That's just I'm just that gullible. Unless they come outright and just say, "Hey, I would like to date you. Hey, would you like to go out?" Or
That sounds familiar.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it gullible?
but I would not blow them off like you do. Be completely rude.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you're
true.
an asshole, Jake.
Yeah.
I'm
No.
sorry.
Sean, is it gullible, or do you just have a lot of walls built up to where you're completely, when they go to, like, they'd like to meet you or get to know you better, you block them out?
I think I have a lot of walls. I do.
Yeah,
I do.
you have a lot
I
of
really
walls. And you know what? That's so, there's a lot of people out there that's walls are really built up around them. And it's funny because if you're in this field, and we can tie this into the supernatural. To me, there's a lot of people with walls built completely around them. And I mean tight walls. Have y'all not noticed? Wow.
I'm just trying to figure out how many times you're going to say walls.
I tried to avoid the tight walls comment walls several times.
He's just not going to have it.
I just damn sure couldn't keep ignoring it.
Wow.
Nope.
And I hadn't experienced a lot of tight walls in a long time. But I would like to. Maybe that's part of getting back out in the dating game,
Wow.
Hey
I mean,
there.
we're not. What walls are we talking about? I'm so confused.
We're talking about the psychological walls.
with you.
of-
Because we went from picking up women, now we talking about walls, now we've gone psychological.
So then it was really hard.
All right, please enter the walls of the psychological conversation. Go.
I think there's a lot of women between the ages of 30 to 50.
It's personal.
And I know that's 20 years of difference, different generations. I think that a lot of women and a lot of men have their walls built up around them. I think they're not letting people in. They're really all to themselves. And if you're a people watcher, a few years ago we would talk, well, something was wrong with them. They could be possessed or whatever little bucket you want to put them in. And I think it's really bad now that people have so much stuff built in them and carry so many from whether it's sin, guilt, just everyday pressures of life. They're so, it's almost like they're gray. They're just gray bodies.
So basically, I'll help you out here.
Yeah.
So basically, people these days have a whole lot more psychological stress just in everyday living than say 20 years ago.
I say 10. I say it's a lot stressful than just 10 years ago when we were really out and about doing this. And no, I mean seriously,
be specific because we're covering a lot of topics.
When we had 2 different radio shows.
Yes.
When y'all were speaking every weekend. When you were writing books on your time off.
About the paranormal. That's all I need. That's all we needed.
This is all about the paranormal.
Okay.
And then you had private investigations with other groups. I mean, this was just 10 years ago. If you look at people now, and then people back then, we're talking about day and night. Two totally different spectrums.
It's all right, I did it.
And I gotta be completely honest, I hadn't recovered from the walls.
I haven't either, dude.
I just hadn't recovered.
When David was
it's
talking
such a
about
good
like
topic,
from
David.
ages 30 to, I just keep like picturing David pulling up in this survey car, getting out and knocking on doors and go, "Excuse me, ma'am, how are your walls?"
I'm here to inspect the
But
walls.
you know, seriously, this is a great topic because this is going on right now in real time. There's friends on your Facebook that are going through it. There's friends that we know that are going through it. And, you know, it goes back to mental health and psychological, but I also see a little bit of the supernatural mixed in with it.
You know, I think the supernatural part of your personal life, it goes on a lot more now. And I think, honestly, and this is my opinion, I think because a lot more of us are refuses to acknowledge the actual, I guess you'd say, demonic attack on our lives. You refuse to acknowledge the spiritual warfare that goes on. And you kind of, everything is so politically correct now. And now we're starting to try to think politically correct. And as we go toward in our life, as you do that, you're not handling situations realistically, if that makes any sense. And I think if you look at everybody, especially our age, we're carrying so much baggage. We're carrying generational problems, we're carrying regret, we're carrying hurt, we're carrying pain, and we're carrying residual negative energy. And it's feeding and pouring out in every aspect of our life more and more today than we ever realized. And I think if you go back 10 years ago, David, you had people waking up spiritually and people starting to acknowledge things and starting to look different avenues. And today, they're trying to make themselves go back to sleep and they can't. As they force themselves to sleep, they're forcing themselves down an avenue and a road they shouldn't go on. So once they made a decision to awaken, you can't make a decision to never go back to sleep.
Okay, that's awesome because here was a question that was brought up. They brought it up and they didn't want this question answered, but I think it's going to really tie into this. There was a question brought up that if you're in this field and you do paranormal, whether it's investigations or you're just, you know, a big fan of it, you go to all the events and stuff, the question was, why is there so much negativity in those people's lives?
It's a simple thing. It's a lot of us have negativity anyway. Then if you go and hang out with other people with negativity in a spiritual sense, let's say we come with all this group of people from different walks of life, different belief systems. You come there and you're bringing all of these different energies, and they're looking for different things. And you go to a location and you release that energy, you take it out back with you. And I think people that work these cases and take stuff on, they forget to do the spiritual maintenance, and they forget to acknowledge the right way and wrong way of little small minute things. And the devil attacks, especially in this field, with little things. And as the little things mount up, they become big things. And those big things starts to weigh us down to the point where we don't acknowledge it and see the truth anymore. And I think that's something that's happened with me and happened with so many of us, especially in this field that you work. Let's say, think about it. You work a job, you have a family, and then you think outside of a box that normal people don't think outside of, and you travel and put yourself in that box, and then you come back and mix in the other two lives with that, and what you start to have is mass confusion. That's why so many people in this field become batshit insane. They really are. You think about how many folks we've looked back and seen over the years.
That's true.
And I think a lot of the negativity and stuff, you start dealing with a lot of the physical ailments, mental ailments, and you have to get down to reality, what's real and what's not. Same thing I always say, angels whisper and Satan shouts. You have to not take yourself so seriously. You have to know that you are human. And you have to know there's no such thing as experts, and you have to know that with that being the case, you have to be open to things. And to really do this, you got to be open to change and be willing to change your reality. But you have to keep your faith in God doing it, because you're going to get your world rocked doing this stuff.
Absolutely. Another question, I want Jake to answer this as well as you, Sean.
Okay.
Do you think the devil's working in overtime now? Do you think the devil's working more now than ever? Or do you think more, and I'm just going to say for Americans, for American people, or do you think Americans are just giving up as far as spirituality, as far as the negativity, as far as being possessed, the oppression? Do you think people are just giving up? Or is the devil working in overtime?
All right, so I'll take it first.
You go first.
Now, as far as the devil, I'm going to go ahead and say the enemy, just to make it a little clearer. I think that all the work that the enemy has put in is really starting to pay off.
Mm-hmm. Like that cat.
Like that cat.
Well, that's odd. That's a sign, I think.
Maybe. Now, I think we're seeing like a lot of the narrative that's being put out by really any kind of mass consumption type media like Fox News, any of them. I mean, just because it's right wing or left wing don't mean it's right. I mean, it's controlling the way people think at this point. Like, that was never meant to be consumed in the way that it does. It's being consumed right now. I don't think you're supposed to have that talking heads blaring in your ear 24/7. I mean, it alters the way you think. It does. So you have to really watch what you consume these days.
Okay.
Whereas it was very limited. You know, even 20 years ago, it was more limited than it is now. You have to be very careful. Because there's propaganda being shot in your brain.
Well, that's all the time, and you know, I'm getting away from the news. Like, I'm really trying my best to not watch the news anymore.
I don't. The news that I partake in is not fed to me. I go and find it. Like, I'll find different sources. Like, I don't read just one thing. I don't listen to just one place. I mean, nobody's right. I mean, you can't run a 24-hour news network and always be right. You have to make the drama.
But they're making the drama with fake news. I mean,
sure.
It's entertainment. There's no difference to me with the news, the 24-hour news outlets, than professional wrestling. It's all shit to me.
It's the best of reality TV. Nothing more, nothing less. And people look at it as kind of their Bible, you know, what they live by. And even Alex Jones, I mean, he's still a news outlet. You know, he's not always going to be right, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think that's where the devil plays at this point, because that's the most it's the easiest path to the most destructive.
You know, a long time ago, our friend who passed away, what was his name? JC?
Yes.
JC.
Yeah, JC.
He would talk about exorcisms in Africa and different things, and how spiritual warfare was completely different there because the way they see things and mentally react to things in that realm. And how the enemy can attacks differently there than they do here. And we talked about this 10 years ago, but I think now, and maybe it's my age, but I really don't think so. I think so many more of us are slaves to the system, where that means that we are held down to our TVs. We're held down to our house, and we don't have the opportunity to say we're going to the beach this weekend or we're getting out this weekend. I know there's still people are, but I'm talking about the mass majority of us. We're locked down to here. So basically, we go to work. We get our taxes taken out, we get our bills paid, and we don't have anything left, and we're stuck home in front of the TV.
Just completely waste your life at a job.
Yeah, exactly. You're wasted, and you're here. And then you're being fed propaganda. You're being fed negativity.
Yeah.
Then you're housing resentment for your job. You're seeing the basic necessity of family values decay. And then we're losing ourselves spiritually, and we're being defeated by the enemy by the restraints of society.
In places you wouldn't expect. Like, anything that's an institution at this point is a weapon. Like, and that includes churches, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
You pretty much almost have to go back to underground churches for it to be worth a damn anymore.
Well, this is going to segue.
Look at the church around the corner. They are really politicized, man. Like, they straight up were talking about how homosexuality is against God on their sign. And it's like, aren't you supposed to be welcoming people in, man? Well, have you lost what it's about? And this is coming from me as a Christian. You're not supposed to just damn people. That ain't your job.
Speaking of damning people, Sean,
Uh-oh.
this goes back. I want to tie this into y'all's last part of
Gonna
the
damn them walls.
Yeah.
with the question that was brought up about being in this field and the negativity and is the enemy winning. Do you think JC? Do you think the enemy
Oh, no.
finally caught up with JC?
That's a little too tough to tackle
No,
on this.
think about it. Oh, look at the power flicker.
It does that.
Okay.
Yeah. No such thing as coincidence.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
Jake.
Go ahead.
No, I mean think about it.
Well, we talk about the power.
Did JC push that envelope to where the enemy finally caught up with him?
Here's the thing. I think sometimes we in this field and in the field of demonology, in the occult research and stuff, you find out there's hierarchies and there's ways to benefit certain things. And the power of thought, beliefs, intentions can sometimes, I guess, go far beyond our wildest imaginations. And I think somebody that sometimes does that, they will sacrifice time for let's say everything they want in a short period of time.
Yeah. I think it's the only thing you can say about it.
Yeah.
It's just odd. It all comes together, and I really thought about that this past week. I thought about JC, and I thought about some of the stuff as we was, promoting the show and telling everybody we're on YouTube and check out our YouTube channel and Instagram and Facebook and where you can get in touch with all of us
We have an Instagram?
on Facebook.
Oh, we do now. I see.
Correct. It was just very odd that this question was brought up that kind of ties with everything we've already talked about.
Since we're going to go that personal, can I ask who brought that question up? Can you tell me?
You want to, about which one?
The last one, man.
JC?
Well, JC ties into the one, the question was,
Okay, I
if you
see.
stay in this field.
That was you riffing off the previous
correct,
question. Okay.
Correct. But it was funny that
Yeah.
I think we all thought about JC this week.
Well, here's the thing. I'm gonna be honest, and I might piss y'all off on this one,
Go for
Bring
it.
it.
but I'm gonna tell you, JC was a true friend to me immensely. True friend.
He was.
And he was extremely helpful to us and a lot of people we worked with over the years.
He was.
He was. But our other brother that we lost before him was every bit more of the warrior than he was, because he wasn't in it for any self benefit. And I think sometimes we as people have to remind ourselves of the reality of why you're really doing this. And I think that sticks out. Since you brought that up, that fits very fitting to me as some of the things that I've witnessed lately.
Well, I'm fixing to blow your mind with this. I had a guy come in the shop this morning. He's from Puerto Rico. He's Puerto Rican. He's in the military. He's also a brother, Mason. He's got dual membership here in Montgomery and Puerto Rico. And him and James were close.
Really?
And he come in and he actually didn't even really know he died.
Really?
And it's funny that this whole show and everything is kind of tied in with each other. We're talking about JC. We're talking about our brother James, a friend of mine back in '94.
Yeah. I can't believe I thought about.
Yes, her name was Stacy Smith.
Yeah.
She committed suicide in '94. And it's just weird how things work out. And then some, had a couple of just little questions like that kind of and tied with everything that we're talking about. It's just kind of neat. Kind of neat, guys.
All right. What other questions you got, Mr.
All right.
Humphrey?
Of course, we get this a lot. I mean, we get this usually when y'all speak at different engagements or on the websites. Of course, people want to know how we got into this field. And with me, it's just lifelong. Loving ghost stories, loving the history, and, doing it as I guess up to our juvenile years, taking a little break, and then, Sean had some things come up, and just the group started.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been doing it for a long time.
Well, I think.
All
right, how we got into it. Basically, how I got into it, I was always around the spiritual world a little bit with my grandmother and everything else. Growing up, it was always an interest to me. I love 13 Alabama Ghost. I love the whole spiritual side. I love the whole aspect of getting out there investigating. We as kids, we'd ride our bikes to Huntington College, be there at night. And as we even got teenagers and got cars, we'd spend time at haunted locations. I think you forget about that a lot of times, how much time we spent at those places as kids. And it was something we was always interested in. And growing up, we spent time in New Orleans. As we got older, we'd travel locations and do it without even realize what we was doing. And basically, one day when I got a call from Burnett. Burnett said, "There's some plumbers on TV doing what we've been doing since we was kids," and that's what originally got me to form Southern Paranormal Researchers.
What was the original name? What was the original name? Let's go into that a little.
Spit. But no, it was Southern Paranormal Investigative Team. But it was Southern Paranormal Researchers. It
was like that.
But the investigator was Southern Paranormal Investigative Team. Was Spit. And that's something Patty and Greg came up with.
Yeah.
They both came up with that. But, I started investigating. Now, I owe this guy a lot because he saw something in me at the very beginning with Hawk Spearman, who's passed away. I know there's a lot of people have different opinions of him and all that, but the fact is, I worked one of my first dark cases on that with him, and that's the first one Dr. Gene James and I worked it, That's before we ever really got into it, and then when we was forming SPR, me, James, Hump, and Patty, all of us went to one of their conferences, and that was the first time we ever spoke. And as the years went, we had tons of members. I've been blessed to investigate all over the United States. You name it, we've been able to investigate it. And I think I'm very blessed to say everything I tell you and I give you my opinions is strictly from my experiences. And I think that's nothing but for a blessing. Mm-hmm. And I have met some really good friends outside our crew. Callie is somebody who I have immense respect for. Deborah Gallagher. Lord Chaz, forever. Mad props. If you're ever in New Orleans, definitely check him out. That's some people to me. Kirk is one of the best psychics I've ever known, and he's somebody you'll never really know about because that's what he chooses to be. Yep. I've met some extraordinary people over the years, and I have definitely been truly blessed.
I want to just mention, and then we're talking about the teams. There was a team in Huntsville, team in Pensacola, team in Atlanta, Montgomery, and Coleman.
Yeah, I forgot we had all those different teams.
They had all the teams.
We had the
SPR team.
Yeah, we sure did.
Oh, we used to have meetings. I remember that.
Yeah, we sure did.
Everybody, we got to go to our meeting.
That was Butter's 21st birthday.
We had a good time and we did really good work. Jake, tell us about you. Just tell your whole story.
Man, I was a weird kid. You can sum it up with that, but basically, I've always just had a affinity toward weird stuff like this. If you notice, my interests don't really align with you guys. I'm not a big history guy.
Yeah.
But if there's something extremely weird, then I'm down. That's why I think we all really like New Orleans, because it's a big mix of all that. As far as growing up, I'm from the South, so ghosts are real. That's basically, no one really doubts you. I mean, have you guys ever ran into that up here?
No.
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 It's just a part of life.
Yeah.
Just about everybody has a ghost story. So, of course, I heard them growing up. And it's just something that I've always had an interest in. And one day, we were actually talking about Rivers. My friend Rivers gave me a penny saver with an ad you guys had taken out looking for investigators, right?
Yep, that's correct.
And I got told to go to Nellie Cameron's Coffee House.
That's right.
And that's where I met the truth.
Yes.
Sean's
And that next weekend, you was in New Orleans with us.
Yes,
and
I
your
was.
life forever changed.
And I saw Sean and Greg Jones in 2 hot-ass black trench coats.
That was, you didn't see me in person like that.
Yes, I did.
I didn't have a trench coat on. I had a black suit on.
Oh, you had a sport coat on.
Yes. I don't wear a trench coat.
Greg had a
trench coat.
Trench coat.
I don't wear a trench coat.
There was some sweating going on.
Whoa.
All I can say is
Tell
that
us.
it was very hot.
Yeah,
I know. If I was you, I wouldn't say
do.
anything.
Why?
Oh, really?
This is true.
Really,
Why?
Humphrey? Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I'm sorry, I don't know what you're
But
talking
you know,
about.
you think about it. Some of the paranormal researchers, it was a really good time, and it's really
It was.
it branched out really well.
It has its time.
But that's really was never. I mean, we really did our best work on our own.
Yeah.
Hey, Jake, this was something that was brought up
Yep.
a couple of months ago to me. Is there any way that we can? Do we still have any of the investigation stuff that we had on the website to where now we
Investigation
could
stuff.
maybe put it on some type of form or something on the Facebook? Because there's a lot of people that like to read the stories. You know,
I think you guys are forgetting who you gave the website to.
I'm talking about we don't have any other files.
Because they never went to me.
Okay.
You ain't no way you can find them or anything, because that's actually come up with me too.
Yeah, people want to read the old investigations, the news, all the news agencies that's done.
I never had the password to it, dude.
So it's all gone.
So it's
It's, you know who, it's with JC.
JC got it.
Don't you remember that? So you guys had to make the website.
But
the
it got
website.
redone again. There was stuff added.
That wasn't me.
Yeah, it sure wasn't.
No, I guess it's all gone.
All right, we got nothing but memories.
You know, that's something
I still have the EVPs that I was in charge of, and the stuff that people sent to me that they were supposed to. But if you remember,
reports.
that was one of the huge falling outs we used to have with other members, is how no one would ever send anything to who they were supposed to.
Yeah. I thought Marty might have some of the stuff.
Now
too.
Marty might. Marty would definitely have a lot more stuff than I would.
That's something we can definitely check out.
Do we need a break, David?
Uh-uh.
We had a pee break there. It's all good.
We had to take us a break.
So where are we at with questioning today? You got another question for us?
Because that one's done.
You know what? I'm going to go straight into I had a couple of little ones, but there's a serious question that was brought up. There's a couple. They've been together, I think, about 5 years. The boyfriend was in the shower.
Is this a paranormal question?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, go okay.
I put it, there was something that's pretending to be her in the house.
Yeah.
He's in the shower. He thinks she comes home. He hears her, thinks that she's in the room, and nobody's there. This has happened multiple times. He's heard something. He's seen what it looked like her down a hallway. And he's actually talked to it, like, you know, hey, come on in the room. And she's not even in the house. Do you think it's demonic?
Absolutely. Burn
something-
the house down and run. No, I'm kidding.
Jake, what do you think?
Man, you got a few different options there. You've got probably the most, if we're going to just exclude everything but paranormal, obviously, then you've got either just the house needs to be cleansed pretty good, basically, where you just got the energy repeating crap.
But why would it be an impression of her?
Because she lives there, right?
It's mimicking her energy. It's
Yeah,
what you
it's
said, like
mimicking
you
her
said, she's
energy.
walking into a room, she's walking
Yes,
out.
correct.
Same thing she does numerous times throughout the day.
Yeah.
And then he was doing it when the shower's running. So if there's negativity in the house to a really strong point, moon phase, thunderstorm, and him running water in there,
Yeah.
it's giving it an energy source to replay over and over. Almost like a residual thing. I know that's out there, but that is a possibility.
So yeah, you got that one.
And also the verbal part of the communication part.
No.
Well, you didn't say it answered.
Well, I mean, he's talking to it.
Sure. Well, I mean, yeah.
Like, hey, you're in there, baby. Come on in.
I've rough talked Bigfoots.
Now, if you ask there's numerous cases with doppelgangers.
Yeah, we got to bring up the doppelganger now.
You go into that a little bit, Jay.
That's kind of a curse, really.
Yes. Yeah.
If you go into a doppelganger, that's like a. But usually he would see him if it's a doppelganger. You know what I mean?
No, there's
not
cases,
necessarily. I'm just saying
he's
usually.
seeing her, and they're married, right? They're married, right?
Yeah. So that's
that's not. I know what you're saying, but that's, yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, with a doppelganger, you're normally going to see yourself, but if you get where it's like a really crazy curse, exactly like Sean's saying, that's absolutely something that can happen.
Yeah.
And that's just breaking your will down, making you see things, doing crazy stuff. Getting that curse good in there good. Tearing that life apart.
So, because I'm sure
and a lot of it comes into place too. Is how does he feel once he hears it? Is he terrified? Is he scared? What's his state of mind when it goes on? What's their relation? Or have they had an argument? Have there been an intimate encounter? Anything like that plays into play with the energy. And do I think it's a ghost? If that's the case, no, absolutely not.
No.
I've never. Now I want to say this, and I'm sure somebody's gonna see differently, but in my experience, I've never known a ghost to mimic a person.
Never.
So that answer that question when you asked if it was demonic or what. Because you asked me, well, that means it's demonic. I'm the one that tell you often that I don't believe just because it's not, you might say a ghost, it's a dimensional. To me, it don't mean it's a demonic.
Right.
In my opinion, but I know everybody different. I think Jake agrees on me.
Yeah, I agree. There's different. I mean, it's not like it's black and white. It very much is not.
Wasn't a problem until all the talk come up. He was pretty comfortable with it, but I think
all the talk,
as far as knowing people that are in the paranormal field, asking questions, and I mean, it's like adding fuel to a fire.
I might have got a demon in me.
But they should basically start with a cleansing of the house.
Yeah, just a basic white candle, bowl of salted water, smudging.
Yeah, but they do that, but they need to think about what brought up that event, what went on with their state. I always do the cleansing on them.
Yeah.
If there was an argument in the house, if there was arguing, fussing, and fighting the day before, kind of take that out. Make sure just little things and try to pinpoint what could be causing it. Because the way it's sounding, a lot of times, in my opinion, there's something that has gone on in that house to spirit. If that's the only activity that's happening in that house.
Yeah, you're gonna. Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
As far as I know, when I asked that question, it was just in that one part of the house.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, was that their bedroom?
It's the bathroom. The shower is in the bedroom. Then you got a bedroom, you got a door, and then a long hallway.
Okay.
That is not good feng shui.
No.
Can you imagine trying to sleep with that door open?
No.
Ooh.
Not that long hallway.
Yeah. It's probably an older house. Mm-hmm. I never asked what,
Yeah.
It's probably an older house with that long hallway. That's creepy, isn't it?
Yeah.
If I could take a shower and see that far down a long hallway, I'd see stuff too. That's not cool.
But it's your mind. It's more or less in your mind playing tricks on you.
Maybe. That's why I said
But here's.
That's why I had that preface of if we're excluding everything but the paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
How can you say your mind? I don't. The one thing with those doppelganger cases and cases like that, that's normally not mind playing tricks on you.
Normally not. No.
Those cases, they're not.
Usually, if they're bringing it up to that point with that degree of detail, yeah, that's usually not the case.
Yeah. All right, David. Do we answer that question properly?
I think we did. I can't wait to see. It'll probably be a week when we upload this show. They'll probably listen to it, or they'll contact probably by the weekend I can't. We're gonna have to let everybody.
Or they'll listen to the show we just uploaded and go, "This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard."
No,
Yes.
but I do want to tell our listeners. Well, this will be a week late. That we are very
A
wrong.
week late. It's not a week late. It's on time. It's a podcast.
I did put it on my Facebook that we're a PG-13 show.
That is
Whoa.
absolutely wrong.
That is, we're not PG-13
At all. Do you know we just talked about walls for 5 minutes?
So so you're saying we're a rated R show?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe maybe NC-17.
Goodness gracious.
Maybe a single X. I don't know.
Really?
PG-13.
So
What PG-13 movies have you watched where they say fuck like 15 million times?
Well, I really don't watch that much TV.
And all the
Obviously.
conversation with walls.
Yeah, with walls.
We cannot get off the walls situation. My mind keeps traveling back to the
It's just
wall.
there because David. Okay,
Hey, I'm
that's
David Humphrey. I'm
listen.
the wall inspector. I'm here to inspect your walls.
This is a great example of what I was talking about with the mass media thing and the repetition and controlling the language. David said walls like 80 times, so now all we can think about is walls.
Yes.
Walls. You know what the name of this podcast is going to be?
Walls.
Walls. David angrily types on his phone.
What type of
Well, I'm
wall?
having
These
to-
guys
I'm
are
having-
assholes.
What?
I'm having to change my edit.
You
from
sure
Facebook
are.
To, I mean.
So what type of walls do you prefer in your investigation?
Slimy walls. Little ectoplasm.
I like to break people's walls.
That is horrible.
Wow. Is that after they're chloroformed or you wake them up?
Now listen, David.
I duct tape them down.
Isn't that a little
I
bit
duct tape them
arrogant?
down and put them down.
It's a little bit arrogant, maybe.
What?
Do you think it's... I mean, it ain't that big. We're just going to break walls, is it? Is it a sledgehammer?
What is? No, Jay.
Jeez,
What's happening?
David.
I'm so confused. You know what I'm so proud is that he's focused on the show right now.
Oh,
He is really focused. He is really wanting to change that because he's realizing just now that, oh yeah, we did cuss a lot.
Here's the thing. I don't give a shit if we cuss.
Look at that.
I've always said
Oh,
that.
Anger. Hello, Anger. How are you?
I'm just saying that people that know us, that we're gonna give them the truth. It's real.
And that is
We're not
rated
gonna
R.
sugarcoat it. And I personally want to help as many people as I can.
With walls.
And I really want to say, ma'am, I would like to meet you. So please send me a friend request at Sean Sellers on Facebook too. And you, Jake Bill, you want a friend request
Yeah,
too?
give me one too.
Yeah, hit us up too. So we can all be included.
Because we want to know you.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
What?
We just want to know you. What's
I
wrong
mean-
with that?
Nothing. I'm just saying. I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting to help people.
No, it's nice. I don't have a problem. I'm just saying I want to be included too.
Yeah.
Befriend me too. Send me a friend request. You can keep. I mean, and
There's
you,
three-
you can keep the questions to him. Just
Listen,
send me a friend request.
there's 3 of us on this podcast.
That's right. There is Jake Bell, Sean Sellers, David Humphrey.
That's right.
But I'm just wanting
We're
to
all
help
on
people.
Facebook.
All of us.
You know, I
My,
like
my
helping
profile
people.
picture is Macho Man riding a luck dragon.
That's right.
Yeah.
'Cause
I
that's
got
how
an
you should do
Instagram.
it.
I don't have Snapchat. I know Humphrey got a Snapchat.
What do you put on Instagram?
Pictures.
Pictures.
Just pictures.
Well, I know pictures. Like, what pictures of what? Walls?
No, just pictures, like the
Walls.
pictures you have. It's more family friendly.
What do you like Snapchat?
It's okay, but I don't have many friends on my Snapchat because I only have just a handful of people on
You
it.
know what's nice about Snapchat?
What?
What?
Because it goes away, Jake.
Because it goes right away.
It just disappears. You only got to like 10 seconds.
You can send private messages.
So it's only up there for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
for those
You can set your
secret
time,
people.
3 seconds, 5.
Do you
6.
blow it up, David Humphrey?
I don't.
Did you do the puppy dog filter on your penis?
Yes, I like that.
Did you listen to the rest of the
You
question?
hear what he said,
What,
didn't
the
you?
puppy dog one?
On your penis is what he said.
You said absolutely. I like it. Hey, guess what? This is PG-13.
We are a rated R show.
Yes, sir. I think we've proved our point. David's like, absolutely.
Wow.
How did it work? What was the nose?
Now, are you posing for a picture now?
No, I was actually on
So
my
please,
Snapchat.
ma'am, go ahead and send us that
just
friend
on
request
Snapchat.
as soon as possible.
Oh, yes. So, are we
Yeah.
trying to get meta here? What's this?
All right, you got any more questions for us?
For
No,
the
that
love
was
of
all the
God.
questions.
That's all the questions.
Well, other than I got one. I mean, here's one that I saw on a friend of mine's Facebook, and it got me really thinking because when I read it, I started thinking about it. I went to work. I asked a couple of people about this question.
Yeah.
And they were like me. Damn, that is a good question because you had to think about it. It's a great thinking question.
Right.
And you know, I want feedback from our listeners on this one. If you were to die on your birthday, do you want people to celebrate it or mourn it?
Celebrate good times. Come on.
Celebrate it.
But you died on your birthday, though, Jay.
I have publicly.
You got to really think about that question.
So?
I think once you get my age, I don't really like celebrating birthdays that much.
Or I don't really care about mourning funerals.
And, you know, and Jake Bell's got a birthday coming up on the 9th.
I do.
Right around the corner. But
Are you going to murder me?
No.
Is that what that question was about, David, over the Snapchat penis?
No. I wasn't.
Well, what do you say, David? What's your opinion?
That is
Damn,
not
it had me
convincing.
thinking. I was all over the place, Sean, with it. I mean, I was completely. I read the question Wednesday night. No, Tuesday night. 2 nights ago. And I thought about it ever since I read it. And a good friend of ours, her name's Brandy Cooper.
Wait, now, do you guys really want
She
to
had it on
mourn?
her Facebook page, and man, I'm completely like, wow. You die on your birthday. You have everybody, you know, you got to go through the funeral. You got to plan the funeral. You got to have all that worry and
It sucks.
struggle to do it. Then, you know.
That's why I'm for cremation.
But here's the thing. You still haven't got to the question. The question is, do you want people to mourn it? Or do you want people to celebrate? And I get it. This one guy today said, it's a celebration of life. We got to, you know, it's all.
Hey,
and I'm like, shit, man, it's not rainbows and unicorns and cotton candy.
Irish funeral, man.
Oh,
Get drunk and tell stories.
yeah, what is it called? The Irish wake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all you really need.
But it really got me thinking, and I was like, man, that's a pretty damn deep question.
The funeral is not for you. The funeral is for the other people left behind, really.
I think I want to be cremated. I want to be cremated and dumped off at the beach.
Same. I have no need for a physical grave.
Yeah, I don't want all that. I want to be cremated. I want my ashes to be dumped out in the ocean.
All right.
I don't really care where they go.
I want to be buried. I want everybody to tell stories, have a good party.
You want
and
the
then I
women
want
to
people to come
lament.
visit my grave and bring me gifts.
You want the women to mourn and lament and wear black and throw ashes on their face.
Yes, absolutely. I've got 10 paranormal questions.
Awesome.
Oh, you just Googled.
I did. And I want to, let's get us some answers. Let's all
And if
discuss
anybody's wondering, I'm recording this on my phone, so that's why I can't do any of that.
All right, y'all ready?
Go.
Yeah.
Go.
Why do a house become haunted?
Is that how it's phrased?
Yes.
Why do a house become haunted?
Now, these are real questions for
Yeah.
people.
Oh.
I'm not like looking up.
Jake, there's actually.
It's like, are you on Yahoo
forums.
questions?
You know.
Why do a house become haunted?
Yeah.
Well, see, like that's super vague.
I'm going to go with this because of the energy in the home.
Yeah, I mean that's a good vague answer.
Well, it's a simple answer.
Yeah, you have to be because of the question.
Well, Sean, what do you think about it? I mean, that's a very simple answer.
It's a simple thing. I think it comes down to the history of the house can depends on the residual stuff, and I think the energy of the people living in the house definitely affects it.
Sure.
Because like we've said many times lately on the show about more, I believe people are haunted more than
Yeah.
locations.
Yeah, for sure.
And also I guess the history of the land, because a lot of times it's not always the house; it could be the land too as well. I mean, Jake, your answer.
I'm gonna have to go with David's. Is how do a house become haunted? Well, yeah, it depends on the energy in the home, really, because that really blankets everything.
But is residual energy really a haunting? Because the question was, how does a house become haunted?
See, that's where you get tricky with that question.
that
Yeah,
is that is a good one.
It's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's amazing how it was worded. Why do?
why do?
But then it's really is a good question.
Is it bad that I like it like that?
I like it too. Why do
Yeah.
a house?
Why do a
Are
house?
y'all ready
become
for the
haunted?
number 2?
Yes.
Can your pet dog detect the paranormal?
No, but cats can. I'm joking.
Absolutely.
Of course they can.
Absolutely, dogs can, and cats can too.
Can birds?
I believe any animal can.
I don't know about birds.
I
I tell you,
I don't think fish can.
my grandmother was a firm
No.
believer in having birds around.
Yeah.
Well, we worked a case with a crazy bird up in the second floor, Sean. Y'all don't remember that bird supposedly
Yeah.
in the window?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Oh no.
But I think
I thought you were talking about that house in
that
Atlanta.
there is numerous times where dogs and cats came into play in cases,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
and I think they absolutely can. All right, y'all ready for the next question?
You-
What is a ghost made of?
boogers.
All right,
I
take
don't
you
know.
answer that one. You're a good one. Good one for you.
Oh, what is a ghost made of? Well, we gonna go corporeal here, or like what? A ghost. So if we're going with ghosts, we're going with human spirit. So, basically, your spiritual body is different from your physical body. As far as in what way? Well, it's kind of hard to answer because we haven't been able to measure that.
Yeah.
Just that there is a difference as far as what it's made of. Man, if you can tell me, you win $1 million.
Yeah.
To be completely honest.
Yeah. That's
But there is a distinct difference between physical and spiritual, obviously.
that's a good one. All right, here you go. Do ghosts only come out at night? And that's a good question because we've been asked. Well, why do you investigate at night?
Yeah.
Well, and the answer simply for me personally is because I work a lot during the day. It really doesn't matter if you investigate day or night. But as an investigator, at night it opens up your senses a little bit.
I like the mood.
Yeah, it helps.
I'm a night person anyway, so.
Yeah.
I can see better at night. I know that sounds strange.
In the panel van,
No, seriously. I'm answering this question.
Yeah.
I can see better.
I mean,
You mean like psychically see, or you mean like
both.
you're
Either
like a
or.
cat?
No, I'm talking about visually, psychically, mentally. I mean, you're just in a better place in the evening time versus 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, my night vision sucks.
But you know, that question was brought up in New Orleans. Why do people, investigate in the middle of the night
They're in the dock
or in the dark?
because it's creepy on TV.
Because it sells good TV, undoubtedly.
Yep. Another one. What are signs of a poltergeist?
See this? Okay, poltergeist means noisy ghost, and there's two ways to describe a poltergeist. You can have poltergeist activity, which basically means disembodied telekinesis, so things moving around, bumping, and all that junk. Then you got what is termed a classic poltergeist, in the way that, say, Dr. Henry Roll would define it, meaning the manifestation of the stress of usually a young girl going through puberty. It's just that intense emotional stress manifesting in psychic phenomena, which mimics a lot like what you would call a poltergeist with bumps, other weird crap happening, water leaking from walls. Very, very much a physical manifestation, not so much like a spiritual one, I guess. It's way more physical, bumps, things moving, teleporting, but not so much, say, people getting sick or, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's 5 questions. Should we save the other 5 for next week?
No, well, let's do one more, Sean.
He wants one.
Just one more question.
All right.
You do a good one.
I was just going down the list.
All right.
All right, here we go. Let me look. If my house was haunted, could you remove the haunting?
Depending on what it is.
I think you can.
This is a great question because it's kind of sort of topical.
You can definitely take the energy down and take away its strength a little bit, but you have
Yes.
to end up taking ownership in your own home and in your own stuff. That whatever's causing it to manifest, whatever causing it, giving it strength, you have to find a way to take it away. And a lot of the time with hauntings and stuff and what's going on in a home, the family's fueling it in different ways. Wouldn't you say?
Yes. And yeah, let's not go down that road, but if we're going to go with like a classic haunting, yeah, generally it's just management of energy and your home. Most of the time, you can talk a little bit and you can get to the trigger, kind of why it's happening. Usually it's some sort of stress, mostly on the whole household. And, from there you can kind of work back and teach them, teach a man to fish, so to speak, instead of giving him a fish for the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sort of thing.
That is
That
it.
is distracting. I'm sorry. I am I am extremely tired, and my brain is like shiny.
Well, Jake, I'm gonna be just absolutely goddamn honest with you. We do a radio show every Thursday night, and if you can't prepare,
David, I'm not
and get
critiquing
some
you.
sleep-
PG-13.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wow.
How long has this show been on tonight so far?
Why is there so much anger? I think it's around an
Over
hour.
an
We had
hour.
to take a break, and I didn't see what the time was before the break. So
How long is
this
it now?
is 22 minutes.
So we definitely got an hour.
We're okay. We're good. If we wanna
Since you're tired.
hang a hat,
Why all of a sudden you need to go?
Yes, I'm going to take a bath and eat a meal.
whoa.
Really?
Remember
Wow.
that conversation?
Wow.
Hey, Sean, I'm a little still hungry. Can I come with you?
You know what? I don't think there'll be a problem, apparently. You need me to pick you? Have you left anything over there lately, Humphrey? You want me to pick it up for you?
I don't have a clue what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I could be happy
Hey.
to drop it off, man.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Y'all crazy.
It's I don't know what to say.
Really?
You know what? I'm going to apply for a wall inspector internship in the morning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Wow.
The
I mean,
wall inspector.
You gotta. You know what I'm really talking about, right?
I don't anymore. I really
I'm
don't.
serious,
I
Sean.
do. I know.
No, I mean people's walls. Like people, you know how your egg, you supposedly your shell got cracked.
Yes, yes.
People have huge walls built up around them. Man, it's to the point now where you could be walking at a Books a Million or out in general, and you can just watch and see who's got walls built up around them.
That
the way
mental
they act.
image.
It's almost a different mental state.
So it's very much like when you're out stalking your next victim, you can just read them and say that person's got a wall, and that person is a little more difficult to trick.
I think that wall's a little
I
smaller.
mean, you
so
act
I'm
like
going
I'm
to
a
go for that.
magician.
Well, there's an art to kidnapping,
All right.
restraints, and
Let's go to chapter 14 in the Wall Inspector Code Book. What about tight walls? Tight walls.
what type of walls are the toughest to break down? Man?
Broken people that are emotionally, spiritually, just broken people, man.
So people that
They're
their
broken
walls
people
have been
hold on, no.
abused.
They're people. They're almost. If you wanted to put it in the abused bucket, you can. It's people that are broken as far as mentally, spiritually. All right, so they're broken. Then they put these walls up. They won't let nobody in, and it's affecting their whole way of life, their thinking, their jobs.
Boy, if they just let somebody in that one good time.
You know,
They
like
just
a good
loosen up.
spiritual counselor.
That's right.
The
That goes
doctor-
back to helping people.
I need to
Dr.
insert a
Love.
gong sound right here.
You know, some
But you
people
know,
call them
everybody.
space
Hold on,
cowboys.
Sean, you said it on the head. Everybody wants to be loved.
They do.
Everybody wants to have love and it wants to be loved, and there's not enough of that in the world. You know, it's funny watching the new show. What is it, Americans Got Talent?
Yeah.
They had a little girl, ventriloquist, that had the little puppet. She absolutely warmed my heart watching that, and it was so amazing that little girl. I watched that show. It's on my Facebook. America loved it. And for just 5 minutes, we had love and warmth.
So if you just Google Sean Sellers Facebook, he'll probably pop up. Sean Sellers Montgomery Facebook.
It should pop right up. Warmth and love. That is.
It's deep.
I
I mean, think about it.
I'm thinking
It
Sean Sellers.
Y'all
Jake
have
Bell.
ruined me.
They'll both pop right up, or you can go to mine and you can find Jake. Or best bet, just look on Hump's Friends and you will pop
There you go.
right up.
We're right there.
yeah, because I highlighted y'all on my face tonight. Oh, there there she blows, Robin.
We got you a little
David.
flustered and
Wow.
concerned.
David, did you just trip over your old bullshit?
Hell yeah, I just did. Shit. But
It's all right. I've been doing that all night.
On my Facebook page, I got the radio link. I got Sean and Jake
Hell
linked
yeah.
to it. Click on them. They're more than happy to answer questions.
Yes, we
You
are.
can inbox them at any time.
Inbox
We're
them.
very accessible. You can get in touch with us day or night. And also, don't forget to add our YouTube channel.
Very soon, I'm going to be a certified wall inspector.
Wow.
I'm going to take the 2-year course.
Wow. what was that?
I don't know, man.
Wow.
You tell me.
I don't know what that was.
You know what, guys? Please, let's just wrap this the hell up because it is
I'm
not going anywhere
investigating
else.
right now.
Sean's a wall inspector.
Yeah, you know what? I'm now investigating the walls, and I'm finding some suspects. It's trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Trouble.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Trouble.
Well, let's end this right now before somebody gets in trouble.
Oh,
Trouble?
I think that's already
Trouble.
happened.
Doctor.
Goodbye.
Doctor.
Good
Who
night,
is that
fellas.
now?
Y'all gonna have to quit long
is
enough
that?
for us to end it.
Are we over with?
Yeah, let's just end it.
All right, good night.
Good night, guys.
Night.
Thank you.